When you think of ancient Egypt, you probably imagine pyramids, mummies, and pharaohs. But here's a fact that sounds completely unbelievable. For nearly 300 years, Egypt was ruled by Greeks. How did one of the world's oldest civilizations end up under the control of people from a completely different land? The answer begins with one of history's greatest conquerors. In 330 BCE, Alexander the Great marched into Egypt. At the time, Egypt wasn't independent. It was controlled by the Persian Empire, and many Egyptians were unhappy with Persian rule. So when Alexander arrived, he wasn't treated as an invader. In many places, he was welcomed as a liberator. The Egyptians even recognized him as pharaoh. Alexander didn't stay long, but he left a lasting mark. He founded a new city on the Mediterranean coast, Alexandria. That city would soon become one of the most important centers of learning, trade, and culture in the ancient world. But then everything changed. In 323 BCE, Alexander died suddenly at just 32 years old. He left behind the largest empire the world had ever seen, but he left no clear successor. His generals immediately began fighting over who would control what. One of those generals was a man named Ptolemy. Ptolemy seized Egypt and eventually declared himself pharaoh. This began the Ptolemaic dynasty, a line of Greek rulers that would govern Egypt for almost 3 centuries. Now here's the interesting part. The Ptolemies were Greek. They spoke Greek. They promoted Greek culture. And their royal family often married within the dynasty to preserve their bloodline. But they also understood that to rule Egypt, they needed to appear as legitimate pharaohs. So they adopted Egyptian traditions. They built temples in Egyptian style. They participated in religious ceremonies. And they presented themselves as the rightful successors of the ancient pharaohs. For centuries, Egypt became a unique blend of Greek and Egyptian cultures. Alexandria flourished as a center of knowledge. Its famous library became one of the greatest collections of learning in the ancient world. Greek scholars, Egyptian priests, merchants, and travelers all mixed together in one of the most cosmopolitan cities of the ancient era. The most famous ruler of this dynasty was Cleopatra VII. Many people think Cleopatra was Egyptian, but she was actually a descendant of the Greek Ptolemaic family. Unlike many of her ancestors, however, she reportedly learned the Egyptian language and embraced Egyptian culture more fully. Her reign marked the final chapter of Greek rule in Egypt. After her defeat by Rome in 30 BCE, Egypt became part of the Roman Empire. And just like that, nearly 300 years of Greek pharaohs came to an end. So the next time you think about ancient Egypt, remember this. One of the greatest civilizations in history wasn't always ruled by native Egyptians. For nearly 3 centuries, the pharaohs sitting on Egypt's throne were Greek. Like and follow for more.